Well, folks, it's time to get excited again because we're going to introduce our players for our next match from China. It's Shang Juncheng. Please welcome our number 8 seed from Norway. It's Casper Ruud.
Good. Gentlemen, we play with the same conditions as the previous round. Remember, we have video review here. You can challenge calls like not up, touch, and etc. Any questions? No? Shang Juncheng, heads or tails? Heads. Heads. Have a good match.
Welcome along to the grandstand court here at the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center, and what has been a very pleasant and much cooler day as we head into the Labour weekend, where I'm sure the crowds will be even greater than they have been throughout the course of the week, where we have broken so many records. This court is the third biggest stadium. It's over in the southeast corner, and we are going to concentrate now on this men's draw in the bottom section, and this is a match right in the top section of it, where there's still many seeds are intact. Holger Rune has gone from this section, and Ugo Humbert, but still, as you can see, a lot of very good and informed players in that part of the draw as we look to try and complete the fourth rounds in the bottom section. There's been lots of white, sort of light grey, fluffy clouds, and actually the sun was
3 minutes.
A little early on. Jimmy, it's lovely to be alongside you. It's been a long time.
I am enjoying the moment, and listening to you just set everything up. It's fantastic to hear, especially with the British accent that you just can't get enough of.
Okay, this site, just 42 acres in total, looking absolutely fabulous, and lovely to be also in the company of yourself, but at Casper Ruud, who's still only 25 years of age. We've got to remember that. A finalist here a couple of years ago, and once again he has put through a season with, a season of consistent achievement, picking up a couple of titles in Barcelona on the clay, his biggest to date, and also triumphed in Geneva as well on the clay. It's been a year, though, Jimmy, where he's not been injured, but he was very ill during his run to the French Open semi-final, where eventually he lost to Zverev. He picked up a stomach parasite, apparently, and he was in bed for about 2 weeks.
2 minutes.
After the French. Great win for him against Gael Monfils in a rain-interrupted match, which was also on this court. Monfils got very upset about a time violation. And he did I caught the end of this, actually. He did very well to get through it.
He does very well often, doesn't he, Casper Ruud? He is a player that I think he's underappreciated for the results that he's had. He almost got to #1 in the world as we take now a look at young Jerry Shang. I'm not going to say that first name because I know him as Jerry. 19 years old and a winning record. If you have a winning record on the tour, you can play. He's better than 500, and he's better than 500 even in majors. And he's just getting started. A very talented young player from China.
Yes, he won't be 20 until next February. He's currently ranked at a career high of 72 in the world. He's making his main draw debut here at the US Open. He was a finalist in the boys.
1 minute.
But just look at the quality of opponents, Jimmy, and maybe you can speak more of this, that he's beaten Bublik, the 22nd
Ladies and
seed,
gentlemen, this match will be the best of 5 tiebreak
and then
sets.
someone that's been on the tour
Shang
forever,
Juncheng won the toss and chose to
Baena, who
receive.
knows his way around, you know, a hard court. I mean, they are surely two quality wins.
And two completely different players. You have one in Bublik that's banging serves and not giving you any rhythm, and you don't know what you're going to get from point to point. And then Carballes Baena putting every ball in play. You've got to find a way to work the point and finish it against him. So it's showing you that he can beat different types of players. He's now got a player that can do a little bit of both of those things. He can play big, and it's tough to get the ball by him, and he can rally forever in Ruud. So this is going to be a real test for Jerry Zhang.
Yeah, and just trying to, he's 0 for 4 against top 10 players, but Casper Ruud has a very fine heritage. His father was top 40 in the world.
End of warm-up.
Didn't win a tour title, made a final, but not easy, is it, to be the son of, to come onto the tour with that kind of heritage, as we see Martin Alund, who I believe was top 100 in the world at
He
one
was
stage.
80 in the world. He
Yeah.
works at IMG Academy still. He still works with the groups, but he is Jerry's coach when Jerry is on the road, and done a great job.
Does Dante Bottini still have any impact on
No.
Jerry? Because he did for a little while, didn't he,
did for
while
a
he was
little.
in the juniors?
He did for a little while, but now it's been after Dante. He did work with Martin Alund when they were at the academy, and he got along well with him, and just decided this is the guy I'd like to have travel with me, and we've allowed that to happen.
So this is the men's singles third round, a fourth round berth
First set.
up for grabs here. Can this
Casper
man
Ruud to serve.
become the first Chinese
Ready.
male player in the Open era to
Play.
reach the round of 16? Shang won the toss and has elected to receive.
Love.
Casper comes in here on the back of two tournament victories in Barcelona and Geneva. Barcelona, the biggest event of his career, a ATP 500.
This match, to me, feels as though when you're talking about
50
patterns of play, if you're Jerry Zhang, you want your forehand into your opponent's backhand. That lefty into Ruud's backhand, which Ruud's backhand is the weaker side for him, no question. And for Ruud, you would think just the other direction. He'd want his forehand peppering Zhang's backhand, and it's a question of who can change that direction more comfortably.
(30-15).
Almost perfect playing conditions, just a very light breeze in this stadium, which looks very different from the original grandstand that used to be on the other side of the site and attached to the Louis Armstrong.
Out.
From Casper at the stadium now in its 9th
40-15.
year, and those players that play on it say sometimes that this court can skid and also sometimes if it is a windy afternoon, that the wind can get trapped inside and then sort of funnel around. But it's a lovely court to sit and watch. Them. Nice starts for the finalists from 2 years ago.
First game.
Where he wants to be, and very obviously in the majors, he's someone that brings his best in the majors. Already been to 3 finals.
15 low.
Couple of Roland Garros finals. And a U.S. Open where he was playing for #1 in the world against Carlos Alcaraz. The winner of that gets the #1 ranking as well.
15 all.
Both men in the pink out here, looking very jazzy. First meeting between the two. And Ruud, the 8th seed here, who is actually 5 in the race to Turin on points won this year, gets a look at the 19-year-old who was the best junior in the world, the year-end junior #1 at 16 years of age. Made the final here of the boys' event
13-15
in 2021. And is only the 3rd Chinese man in Open era history. That's in 1968 when prize money was first awarded to make the 3rd round of a Grand Slam event after Yu Yibing and Shang Juncheng.
Jerry does have a little Marcelo Rios to his game, and by that I mean not to his personality, but to his game. His forehand, he can put it anywhere.
Beautifully done. And a great example of what we were just explaining.
The thing that makes it Rios-like to me is he'll hit with a certain stroke and it looks like a rally ball. And with the same stroke, without putting any extra effort to it or that your eye sees, suddenly the ball really explodes. And you're not sure why. Why was it different than the 3 or 4 that he just rolled cross court?
Game, Shang.
So both men safely aboard in this
1
third
game
round
all.
match.
First set.
A young man with great sporting pedigree. His father Yi was a professional footballer back in China. Jerry grew up in Beijing. His mother, Na, was a world table tennis champion. And if you're a world table tennis champion in that part of the world, you are an absolute superstar.
Yeah, you.
Low 15.
We're being very positive about his year in terms of the 2 pretty serious illnesses he had, particularly the stomach parasite. He said the upside was he got to watch a lot of golf, and he loves his golf.
In my experience, whenever a tennis player starts getting better and better in golf, there's an almost direct correlation to their tennis game going down a little bit because it takes a lot of time to get good in golf.
I have to say, Casper's managed to do it hand in hand.
Yeah, no, that's well done.
Yeah, trains a lot at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca for the last 5 years.
On his golf or on his tennis?
Both.
Let second service. Oh. 15, that's it.
I went to the academy late 2018, did a pre-season training with Rafael Nadal. Dad was there. Pedro Clar is the coach from Rafael Nadal Academy. He said he'd never been so exhausted in all his life training with Rafa. And then he had to go out on the golf course with him as well. I think he had the upper edge with the smaller ball.
I hear Rafa's not bad also.
That's a little wild. Hey, Rafa plays golf
15,
right-handed.
14.
What do you know? But this is interesting. Slightly shaky start from the Norwegian. An early opportunity for the teenager. Uncharacteristically errorful game
Shang
there
leads
from
2
Ruud.
games to 1.
And it's an
First
early
set.
break for the youngster.
Love 15.
This is a big game in some ways for Jerry Zhang. I know that's a ridiculous thing to say this early in a 3 out of 5 set match. The only reason I say it is he needs to send the message of I know I can win and should win. He's been given a break of serve by Ruud. He needs to go ahead and serve a good game here and not a nervous game. Started off with a bad error from him.
Love 13.
But very quickly, he's in trouble here. New territory for Shang. Ruud's been around the block though, hasn't he? He's got a lot of miles in him for a 25-year-old.
Hard to believe he's 25. I almost thought it was a misprint when I saw it in the notes because he has been around for a long time already.
Ruud, though, is up against a young man that is tracking very quickly. A year ago, he was about 180, and that's where he pretty much started this season. And I noticed that apart from making the 3rd round at the Australian Open, where he had to retire against Carlos Alcaraz, I mean, he has been qualifying everywhere on tour this season. At Indian Wells, in Barcelona, in Rome, at Eastbourne, and more recently in Atlanta.
He has such, when he's playing his best, Jerry, has such great balance in movement. It's one of the things that separates the great players, is the ones that are always in position. Doesn't matter if you hit the ball 100 miles an hour in the corner, they still get there under balance and not easy to knock off. Zhang has that.
From Ruud, and very quickly snaps out the break advantage.
2 games all, first set.
I was a little worried about that game right from the start because I just felt he was given a break of serve. All of a sudden, you can start getting ahead of yourself. I know it's so early in a match you shouldn't be, but you just start thinking, when he goes into a match against a top 10 player, he's not thinking he's going to win at the very start.
Don't forget, you can stay connected to the US Open on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and WhatsApp, and also hashtag Hashtag US Open, you can join the conversation. We are so connected with you. Well played.
Love 15.
What is this like for Ruud, having never played against Shang before? You know, this young kid coming at him.
It's never the most comfortable feeling because you just don't know what to expect. And I do know that almost every player that first plays with Jerry, they say, wow, he's really good. And I think it's just because of the accuracy that he has from the ground, how well he moves, how balanced he seems to be, that once the rally is starting, you're feeling pressure when you play him. He's still got some work to do on serve. He can serve 124, 125 miles an hour. Almost never does. Tends to just spin it in and start the points a lot. And I think at this level, you start playing the top players, you got to get some free points with your serve.
So both men but a little unsettled here behind their serves.
Sorry, 7 unforced errors already for Ruud in just 4.5 games. Unlike him. That was the play that I wanted to see Zhang using, the heavy lefty forehand up high to the Ruud backhand. He got a short ball that needed to take advantage of, but maybe it's what you said earlier, this court skids. And that slice looked as though it ended up jamming him and getting a little lower than he thought.
Just been alongside Ayla Tomljanovic in the booth, and she said that, you know, she's played on this court and it has a skiddy, you know, sometimes it just skids and goes a little wonky. Just occasionally, and that it's got that feel to it.
Give him the inside-out forehand and leave a lot of court open down the line, because this is the one he will find. And it gets over there in a hurry.
I'm seeing the Rios connection.
Yes, and that shot, that's the one that he hits the most like Rios. 28-shot rally. Now, I don't know that that's a great thing for Zhang, because if this becomes a fitness test, although you tell me Ruud has been in sick, and maybe it won't be that bad for Jerry.
To a break point in this game, and this time he gets a second serve to look at. Juncheng. And a fourth break point in this game.
Advantage, Shang.
And another very physical point between these two, where for much of the rally, Zheng was stuck far behind the baseline, but he turned the point around.
Building pressure is the teenager, former #1 in the world just a few years ago. That's well saved.
Deuce.
That swinging forehand volley didn't land in by that much. That was fairly risky.
Advantage, Ruud.
This looks as if it's shaping up to be a very typically gritty, rude service hold here. That's why he's been as high as 2 in the world.
But again, you see the type of control that Zheng has. Those were a couple of nasty, heavy spun forehands deep into the backhand corner. And he's able to redirect. He can hit it down the line. He's got such great control of the ball, Zheng.
I read just when having a look at this match earlier that when he first came to the academy, everyone was very impressed, the coaches, that you put him against hitting with the pros and how well he absorbed pace.
Led for service.
Was that very much the
Yes,
case?
I mean, he's 3-0 against Ben Shelton.
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea of how pace doesn't seem to bother him much. It's all really because he does have such great posture and balance when he's playing. It's hard to knock him off balance. Still, sometimes it's too easy to go back where you see him going to. You can hit a medium ball and he doesn't mind running back there.
Advantage, Shang.
Second double in the game. Certainly Ruud not fluent as yet. He was certainly a little patchy against Gauff in the previous round on this court, and rather relieved to get through that in 4 against the Frenchman. So it's another opportunity here for the teenager to get a second break of the Norwegian serve. Oh, that's wayward. Goodness me, Ruud is broken again.
Shang leads 3 games to 2. First
The
set.
youngster ahead in this first set.
Nearly a 10-minute game.
Love.
Man, just struggling with the service rhythm. Jerry, I feel like I can call him Jerry because you know him so well. Has had a few sort of injury illness problems in the last sort of few weeks. You know, he had to retire second round of Washington and then didn't take to the court in the 4th round last week in Winston-Salem. So it wasn't coming in here, getting tip top. Just got caught out there.
15-13.
That has been the one thing that's caused him some angst ever since he's been on the Pro Tour, is a little bit of injury, a little bit of illness. Doesn't finish all the tournaments that he starts. Do not run around your backhand and hit it inside out to his forehand, because if you leave the line open, I don't care how big you hit it.
Well, this is going to be...
He's going to find it.
This is going to be a huge problem in this matchup out here on the grandstand for Casper Ruud, because that's his thing.
I know.
Running around his backhand.
I know.
Hitting inside out forehands. Fascinating contest early on.
He'll get more mileage if he plays that shot. And I know that
13,
as a player that runs around your backhand, inside in is dangerous normally, because you're leaving a forehand against a righty cross court on the run. You better hit it really well. Jerry does have a pretty good backhand cross court. It's very flat, but it's not the kind of pace that he can produce on the forehand side.
Sounds as if Casper has already spotted his little opening there. Has a break point here. And we've had 4 breaks in the opening 6 games.
3 games all first set.
Frustrating here for Jerry, because normally his drop shot is really good. And that one was closer to the service line than the net, certainly. And then the other thing he normally does so well, topspin lob. But he went backhand cross. Ruud was on it.
Love 15.
Jimmy, one of the first things you asked me when we sat down just before we came on air, what is Casper Ruud like against left-handers? What's his record? I was ready for you. Because in the last 4.5 years, since the start of 2020, he has won 27 of 37 matches against lefties. I don't know, that doesn't seem to be that it's a big issue.
Well, I asked you that for a reason, because I thought of all the top players in the world, his backhand keeps improving. But that wing was a wing that I thought you can attack off of. You can get it up there heavy, and he's going to hit it short, and it's going to get central in the court. So I thought a lefty with a forehand getting to that corner and peppering that corner would cause him some issues. But obviously, when I asked you about the numbers, I'm wrong about that.
13-15.
I mean, he's had success against everybody. I don't know if that's that much different than his record as far as percentage win in general, lefty or righty.
That's a very good thought. But just as the bare numbers themselves, when you look at players, righties v lefties, that's pretty strong. And the ones that have beaten him have been extremely good. Shelton, Nadal, Nishikori, the Japanese left-hander. Hugo Humbert, the Frenchman, tricky players. Sublime. Much better from Ruud.
It's very early
14,
going, but
15.
there is a stat that is a little worrying for me, since obviously Jerry works out where I coach some. First serve points won. When you look at the stats in this match, you know that Ruud's going to get the first serve percentage up. He's serving 50% right now, but he's winning almost 80% of those first serve points.
Best service game so far in this match. Starting to come alive now.
Ruud leads 4-3, first set.
Starting to find his groove now.
Love 15.
Zhang's going to have to get a little bit more out of his serve. His serve is just starting the point. He's not doing anything with it. Even his first serve, he's won 3 of 8. First serve points. As I said, he can serve 125. Let's bring it out.
Why doesn't he bring it out?
It's the one shot for Zhang that when he's feeling pressure, he's not completely sure of.
That's a logical explanation, isn't it? So it's not that he's not trying, it's not that he's not mentally applying himself, he just doesn't quite back himself.
Not quite yet, but it's getting there. You can see the difference. That was just 112, but at least it was placed and well enough that he got something in the mid-court, and he's so dangerous if he gets that ball. He's just not even hitting enough serves to get that ball often.
Second double or Shang, who you would suspect, having left Beijing at home as a youngster, would be a very mature 19-year-old. Oh dear.
30-14.
Nice reaction.
He made the motion that he lost sight of the ball.
It's only held once so far in this opening set. Twice he's been up a break. Leaving home so early, 12 or 13 years of age, what was the deal with his parents? Did they fly into Florida? Did they come and...
They all came with him. They live. He's lived at home with parents.
Okay, so the whole family. Does he have brothers and sisters?
No.
Okay, so just only child, but parents
both came.
Completely committed,
Yes.
both
Dad is a practice every day.
Okay, they're both elite athletes. That's well played. But even so, very different culture for a young guy to get used to.
Advantage, Shang.
This is a big test for him. And all very much part of his tennis education. Picks out a hold there and levels up in this opening set.
4 games all, first set.
That was a big hold because he did it by saving a break point with a serve and volley on a fairly nondescript serve.
I'm getting so upset with these service speeds. You've been pointing at the speed gun and shaking your head, and oh dear. He's doing all right though.
15 love.
He's certainly got Ruud's attention, who's been having quite a few exchanges, as you're allowed to do, for the off-court coaching with his father Christian and his co-coach Pedro Clar. And there's certainly an anxiety.
As I said, anyone that plays Zhang feels the pressure of when the rally is in play. You know that you're in for a tussle in those baseline rallies because he's hard to knock off balance, because he can change direction with almost any shot and has such great control. So every player that plays him, even 2 or 3 years ago when he was young and not ready to play with him, would say he's special.
Out. 30-15.
Not the first time that, as I mentioned, he's been in the 3rd round of a major. They did that earlier this year. Had to retire against Carlos Alcaraz. This is fascinating, isn't it? Watching such a great match player as Ruud just try and figure out where the opportunities are here in this opening set.
40-15.
First ace for either man. Can he get something going here?
I think what's changed the last couple of games is Ruud's first serve is starting to find its spot. He wasn't making first serves early on, and so he's really lost serve twice. He's losing second serve points. That stat is the one that's disturbing.
Game. Ruud.
Excellent hold from Ruud.
Ruud leads 5 games to 4
ahead
first set.
now in front in this opening set. Shang Juncheng serving to stay in this first set.
Eventually, you're seeing Ruud. He's about a foot or two closer in now on the second serve return. He missed that one. It's going to be the shortest shot he gets is the second serve, and it's a time for him to take advantage. So he's maybe starting to see that.
These two not the tallest out there on Ruud at 6 foot. Jerry just a fraction under. I suspect at 19 he might still be growing. There might be another inch or two in there. Oh, yes.
13-15.
That's a great example of that forehand down the line, gets in that spot in a hurry, same stroke, injects the pace right here.
Certainly by the way he carries himself, you can tell he doesn't lack belief, does he, at this level? Taking on one of the best players in the world.
30-all.
Last year, he took the last couple of months of the year off, saying that he's not feeling well. But when he got started ready to train again, I said to him, okay, this year when you've lost, what part of your game has broken down? So what do you need to work on? What do we need to improve in this next month and a half that you have? He told me no one has he ever felt as though was beating him from a tennis standpoint. It's just physically he gets tired, those type of things, and that's when he loses. So I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but obviously I said, well, let's work physically.
Well, that
30,
was
40.
not one of his better forehands. There's been a lot of good ones out there. He's hit 7 winners off that wing, and he needed another one there. And well, he was on his heels, wasn't he, Ruud, earlier on in the set? Wasn't serving that well. But look how he's turned it around, and a chance now to close out the opener.
Let's second service.
Well, there is a sense that he's a confident 19-year-old. I don't see any hint of arrogance at all there.
No, he doesn't.
No.
He's very sweet, very nice to everybody, to the kids at the academy. He'll hit with them. He'll do whatever. But to be at this level, you have to know you're good. He knows he's good.
Did you hit with him
Advantage,
when he was
Shang.
13, 14?
I did. He still occasionally says, you want to hit with me again? And I say no, because
So you immediately knew the ball that was coming on your strings. What you were thinking? This kid's okay?
Yeah, what was interesting, I think, was just the control.
Okay.
So when we would play points, even if I hit my biggest forehand, he could take it and outmaneuver me.
Oh, yes. What control from Ruud this time. What's the oldest player at the academy you'll play with now, Jimmy? Because I know for myself, it gets younger. 12, 11, I don't want to. They're too good now.
I'm only now playing with one player, 72-year-old Brian Gottfried.
Oh, that's hilarious. Is that it?
It's in.
It's in.
Again, I think Ruud is recognizing I don't need to just start the point.
Ruud.
When I get that second serve, that just caught a half of the line, but that's twice in this game he's taken that second serve and tried to finish the point with it.
Can he close here? Second chance to do so in this game.
Almost didn't.
Deuce.
Zhang, one of the few players that I've seen also that on some overheads, he prefers to hit a swinging forehand volley. He'll do both, but there's times when there's no chance any other player would have taken a swinging volley. I think it's harder than an overhead, but occasionally he'll do that.
Advantage, Shang.
How is he on the old school regulation volleys? Does he have those yet?
He's got feel, and he's got anticipation, so he does normally cover the net pretty well.
Because sometimes the younger generations, they hit a drive volley when and just a regulation punch, short punch volley would have just done the job.
Enough,
yeah, they make it so hard. One and Shang levels up.
5 games all, first set.
Saves 2 set points in the 10th game of this opening set, and on we go with this brilliant teenager.
Out. 15 love.
This first set feels so much more important for Zhang than Ruud. Just from the physical aspect, this is 53 minutes, but they've had tough games, long points, anxious moments, because break chances and a lot of those type of games. And physically, I don't know in a 5-setter, for instance, that Zhang can hang in there with Ruud at this level for this long, and we know that Ruud can't play 5 hours.
30 love. Out. 40 love.
It's Father Yi on the bottom right of your screen there, Jerry's father. Martina Lund on the left. Marco, and I don't know Marco's last name, who has just been brought on.
And spent
40-15.
many a year in the Novak Djokovic camp.
Yes.
He's on the same. I've also, apologies Marco, I've also had a name blank as well. But high level support here for young Jerry.
Game, Ruud.
Ruud locking down and punching out
Ruud
a very
leads 6 games to 5.
comfortable
First
service
set.
game to move ahead once more in this opening set.
To learn to ski. Excellent
15
second
love.
serve that time from Zhang. He's recognized Ruud running around the backhand in the deuce court a couple of times, so he caught him leaning a little bit.
Second time serving to stay in the set. She's already saved a couple of set points. Class.
15 all.
This is a shot that Ruud early on was missing. He'd get a ball deep into Zhang's backhand corner and try to hit the forehand down the line, and he wasn't making that shot. That time struck beautifully.
Whatever happens in the opener for the 19-year-old, you can see already from the hour that they've been out there, he's not out of his depth in this kind of company.
All.
So good. The return from Ruud was nasty. It
14,
had pace, spin, and depth, and Zhang just took it off the ground as if it was nothing. So constant conversation here. Casper and his father after losing that point.
Game, Shang.
Great hold from 15.
6 games all first set, tie break.
Well, both these two men won their second round matches on a third and fourth set tiebreaker respectively.
Wow, both players with great tiebreak records.
But I got to tell you, Casper has got that might be his tiebreak record for the year. He's got a great tiebreak record here at the US Open. He has won 9 out of 10. He's got his hands full here.
1-0. Shang.
Again, great balance, great control, got back so quickly. He was there easily for that pass.
Oh, it's good to be 19, isn't it? Young tennis player. So early break. I was going to say the only player at the US Open that's in the main draw that's ever taken Ruud out in a breakup is Carlos Alcaraz, and that was in the final a couple of years ago. Let's see what teenager can do right here.
Two amazing things about that is one of the worst drop shots I've ever seen Jerry hit, and his body flinched as he hit it. But I think it was so bad that Ruud almost overran it. He saw a drop shot coming and it turned into he was late for it.
4-0. Shang. Shang.
Now 2 mini breaks in a 7-point tiebreak. If it was a deciding set, it will be first to 10.
Shang.
This is the 4th match on the Grandstand in the day session. And now, as we head into early evening, 7 o'clock local time, the lights are on. It's got a very different feel about it.
Beautiful shot making from both these players until right about now. Drop volley off balance, high and deep. That's the 2nd one in the tiebreak. Same shot from Ruud, where he's there comfortably with the two-hander and controls it horribly.
I'm glad you brought plenty of biscuits along.
Yeah, that I did.
It's just got the sense that, yeah, it's going to be a late one. This youngster doing really well there. Wow.
6-1.
Uncharacteristic from the Norwegian. Is it he controlled that horribly?
Again.
In your language.
Yes.
I'm using a new lingo, but 20 minutes ago, Casper was setting up for the first of 2 set points. Now he's facing a whole bunch of them. Oh, the teenager, absolutely brilliant in the breaker as he takes the opener.
7
games to 6.
Did have a 2-set-to-love lead at Wimbledon against Grigor Dimitrov in the 2nd round before losing the final 3. That first set that was 1 hour and 6 minutes long was very important for Zhang to win. I'm not sure past about 3.5 hours or so if he can continue physically. He's still not as strong physically as these top players. If he can continue, because the points have been tough, the games have been tough.
He's 19.
Well, and Jerry's father also
40 love.
had the attitude that shouldn't work too hard. He didn't want his body to break down. So as he was young, he wasn't really being pushed from a physical standpoint.
Okay.
Game Shang. First game, second
Ideal
set.
start for the teenager in this this second set. So he knows the Jerry part.
Yes.
Which is very helpful. Casper Ruud, hugely experienced. What's the play here from the Norwegian?
I mean, I think it's just continue doing what you tend to do, which is hit as many forehands as you can, as heavy as you can, and keep this match physical. And hope that you find your rhythm on the serve, because that's the thing with Ruud. He hasn't served particularly well so far. He's just hovered around 50% of his first serves, and he's losing second serve points.
He's been broken twice and only won 1 point on his serve in that opening set breaker. Uncharacteristic of him for doubles.
30-15.
These two have never met before, and Ruud is getting a very fast education on what the next generation are looking like, and they're coming very, very fast up the computer rankings. Shang already at 72. Just thinking, Jimmy, were you part of that post-match discussion when he lost that 5-setter at Wimbledon?
No, I didn't. I wasn't at Wimbledon, so I didn't.
That is very unhelpful.
I'm sorry about that.
Okay. And you didn't get a summary of it when they returned to Florida?
No, not.
Okay.
I've been gone almost all summer.
Okay. Forgive you. You've been giving us absolutely golden nuggets here, so. Good hold.
Game Ruud. Wang second set.
What's nice for me is because I don't see Jerry play all the time, I'm seeing some of the things that he's been working on that he's improved. So he was a player 6 months ago even that once you backed him up, he stayed back. He didn't try to come forward again. And so he'd be on the defensive almost for the rest of the rally once you were able to back him up. And while I'm watching this match, he's getting backed up at times because Ruud's forehand is very heavy. But he's always looking to get back in control, and because of that, he's the one that's hitting more winners. So 12 forehand winners to 8.
Love.
I noticed that we're calling Juncheng Jerry. That's his nickname, which his parents gave him actually after the TV show, Tom and Jerry. And Jerry is the mouse, for those of you that a different generation. You'll remember Tom and Jerry, won't you?
Of course I do, yes.
We grew up on Tom and Jerry, even though on different sides of the Atlantic. There's Dad, but Jerry's the mouse out there. But I have to say, he's not being chased, is he, in this contest?
Oh, yeah, the mouse was always seemingly getting the best of Tom, the cat, back in those days, outsmarting him, and maybe that's what Jerry's trying to do here.
I think that's what his parents, that's the kind of guy that they wanted him to be. They don't make shows like that anymore, do they?
No, they don't.
It's great. I mean, that's all that happened, was Tom chased Jerry week after week. We still watched it. It was great.
And you knew he wouldn't get him.
No, I know. We even knew the plot.
Oh!
I
think Ruud is trying to do the right thing by attacking second serve. He's just missing most of them. He's missed 2 in this game. But if Ruud finds his range like he did on this forehand winner at 105 miles an hour down the line, Jerry's going to have to rethink serve a little bit. Either get more aggressive with the second serve or try to take something off the first and put a few more in.
Yes. Advantage, Ruud.
I just suspect that Norwegian is playing the long game here. Points being increasingly extended. Uncharacteristic mistake from the Norwegian.
Off another fairly deep drop shot from Zhang. Hard to make a living with that strategy, but it's working. Let's go with a terrible drop shot point after point.
I was going to say, is this the new shot in men's tennis? The terrible drop shot.
I mean, it shouldn't work. I like to normally say when those bad drop shots lose the point for you. I like to say the deep high drop shot, it rarely works. You shouldn't go for
Advantage, Shang.
it. But it has worked today.
Oh, again, and full of maturity as he saves a break point.
New balls, please.
And we're on serve, early stages of this
Zhang
second
leads
set.
2 games to 1, second set, and by 1 set to love.
Good with the new balls. 1-2, second set.
Love 15.
His double faults just starting to pepper his performance out here in this third round.
I don't know why he's hitting the second serve as big as he has at times, because Zhang hasn't really been attacking the second serve.
Love 13.
It's just a little ragged. And Zhang finding his flow. 12 months ago, after a year after making the final, where he lost to Carlos Alcaraz in 4 sets, actually lost to another Chinese player, Shang Juncheng, in 5 sets in the second round. Chinese men are, well, not saying they're coming, they've arrived on the men's tour.
15-13.
That took a jump.
40-13.
Just wonder if Casper would like the conditions a little livelier out here.
It's interesting. I don't know, because one of the things with Zhang, his backhand is very flat and it can skid through the court. So if this court is a quick, skiddy court, that might play into Zhang's favor. Perfect case in point. That flat backhand cross court into the Ruud forehand. He's got a number of mishits. See Ruud making the motion that he's finishing behind his head. That just means you're late when you finish back there. You have to when you're late to give the ball any chance.
25-year-old former finalist has a very even temperament. It's being tested tonight. Easy backhand because he's missed so many.
Advantage, Ruud.
Yeah, Shang made the mistake of trying to hit this one across, as you see. So it didn't skid. It sat there beautifully for Ruud. Some of the slice drop shots that he's attempted, the ball's taken off a little, and Ruud's been late.
Game, Ruud.
Tough hold.
2 games all, second set.
Now, if you can't get actually here to the US Open, you can go to usopenshop.org, which is the official shop for merchandise here at this year's event. I have to say I have spotted a rather fetching hat that I've got my eye on, that I probably don't need. What do you want to see from Shang in the next sort of half an hour or so out here in this battle?
One of the things with Zhang that has been a problem is that he doesn't keep his level as high as it could be consistently. So he'll have a little bit of a letdown. And obviously when you're playing a guy ranked as high as Ruud, a letdown is not a good thing. So for me, just keep this level going. And don't play a game
15-all.
where he makes 4 of those shots that you just saw. I've seen him do it many times. Just all of a sudden, 4 quick errors and you've given your serve away.
Shang trying to make history this evening, trying to be the very first Chinese man to make the 4th round of a Grand Slam tournament. He's already made the 3rd here, as he did in Australia on his first Grand Slam match at the age of 17 down in Melbourne.
First service.
He was the first man from his country to win a match at the Australian Open. So it looks as if he's going to be his country's trailblazer. He might be their Li Na, who knows?
I feel a little for giving Wu Yibing because he's a next level talent as well. He just cannot stay healthy. His body keeps breaking down.
Yes, he's one of the 3 men that have made the round of 32 at a Grand Slam event. So he's got good company as well with Shang Juncheng, who beat Casper Ruud in an early round at last year's US Open. Tough to read that forehand, where it's going.
No question. And if he's in the center of the court inside the baseline by a bit and hitting forehands, you're going to have to guess one way or the other.
Game Shang.
So on serve.
Shang leads 3 games to 2.
Set.
Second set by 1 set to love. love.
Boy.
15
Wow.
all.
Well, that is 3 double faults in this second set and 1 in his last, or in all his service games in the second. That's 6 overall for the match. I haven't seen this before for a long time from Casper. It looks very much like for the 8th seed that this 3rd round battle, as it's going to be, is going to be a labour of love, isn't it? To get through to the next round, stay alive at this year's US Open.
Oh, the interesting stat that I'm seeing is second serve points won, and the difference, because second serve points are generally the ones that start, both players are even. You're not having an edge behind your serve. So who's winning the rallies? And it's a decidedly one way for Zhang. That's for the match 37% now Ruud on second serves. And for the match, Zhang 61%. So when they just start a rally, it is one-way traffic for Zhang, and that puts a lot of pressure on Ruud's first serve.
14-13.
It's only the first week. Gotta stay sane on planet tennis.
Game Ruud.
Redeems
3
himself
games
and
all,
levels up
second
once
set.
more.
Fifteen love. Thirty love.
He's going Jerry's way now with his first ace of the night. Oh,
Game,
accomplished
Zhang.
this game from the teenager. And
Zhang
he
leads
moves
4 games to
ahead
3.
once more in the
Second set,
second.
by
No
1 set to
breaks
love.
so far in this set.
Law 15.
Oh, this is getting a little wild
Law
and woolly
30.
from the Norwegian. Say a very pleasant evening in terms of the temperature out here at Flushing Meadow grandstand court, and the camp, oh, well, they look tense all the way through because he's up against a top talent.
And his forehand is not enjoying. The strength for Ruud is his forehand, but he's not enjoying the pace of how quickly the ball's traveling, getting to him, whether it's skidding off the court or just how early Zhang took that last return.
Well, how things could change, because he had a break point early on in this set, did Ruud. Now what he's facing.
15-14.
And that's skidded as well. Get low.
Get low, exactly. I do think for Zhang that's an advantage. He doesn't necessarily like the ball up above his shoulder, and almost impossible to get it up there on these courts.
30-14.
You almost feel out here Ruud sort of fighting his game, trying to make it happen rather than letting it flow. And it's still break point in this game.
This first serve seems very important for Ruud, simply because he struggles so mightily on second serve points. Jerry moving way over, wanting a forehand here. This could be a very pivotal moment. You can see Jerry's box. Martina Lim telling him it's all good, relax. But that was an opportunity.
Yeah, and it's Marco Panici,
There
the
you
Italian, who left the Djokovic camp very, very amicably earlier this year. Toughing it out.
Advantage, Ruud.
You sense, though, it's been an evening where he's been playing uphill.
Yeah, and if he's somehow able to turn this match around, remember this game from love 40 down, serving at 3-4 in the second, already down a set.
They're going to love him here. They already do.
Yes.
And he is lighting up this grandstand court.
Be careful giving him any look at forehand down the line. He can hit it from anywhere, including the stands almost.
He was nearly out on the Van Eyck Highway, where we get the bus back to Manhattan.
Advantage, Ruud.
Just his fourth of the evening. What maturity, what composure. And we're back at deuce. And this long Ruud service game.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't it interesting? You watch a point like that and you're thinking, Ruud's the top 10 player. Zheng was almost toying with him throughout that point. Just the control that he had, a backhand down the line. He was outmaneuvering him every step of the way.
Well, Jerry's been chased by Ton for all these years.
Yes, he has.
That is brilliant. What a way to bring up his fourth break point in this game.
Shang.
Those looks tell you everything. They are so worried. And I'm sure they've heard all about Jerry Shung before coming into this third round match. There's the break. And he does it in spectacular fashion. And the 19-year-old will serve for a 2-sets-to-love lead.
Shang leads 5-3. Second set.
Three just crushing forehands in this game to help get the break of serve. His 18th winner forehand against a man who moves really well. And Casper, just give you an idea how good that forehand of Zhang's is.
Well, before we got into this match in any serious fashion, you gave us the X's and O's on Jerry Shang, and he is delivering here.
15 love.
And this game will be a maturing moment for Zhang if he can play and serve a good, solid game from start to finish. Great start, got the first serve in.
All.
30-15. Coming off the racket of Jerry Shang.
Yeah, this look. Take a look at the control takes for the leaping from 20 feet behind the baseline, backhand, scissor kick, and control it to walk it right there.
Well, this grandstand court today on the schedule has just been a magnet for Chinese players and all their fans that have packed in here. And both Wen Qingwen and Wang Yafan, a little earlier today, mentioned how much they felt the support from all the fans from China that have packed into this bowl-like arena.
Please. Oh. 13-14.
Second of the set, a little untimely. A small door opening here for Casper Ruud, who's already had a number of break points in this second set and hasn't converted. Look at that number in the corner, Jimmy.
He got what I've been asking for. I'd like him to see that just a little more often, but why not bring it out? Break point down, serving for the set, 125 bomb. After double faulting at deuce.
You've been on his case.
It's just, if you have that weapon in the bag, you should be using it sometimes. I'm not saying all the time. I like him mixing it in and getting a nice percentage of first serves, but at least a couple times a game. Try to get a couple of quick points.
Advantage, Shang.
After seeing that return, I'd feel as though I'd want to give Ruud another practice at the same slidey serve to the backhand on set point for Shang.
After an hour and 50 minutes, look at where we are. is in uncharted territory here. Ruud, a 3-time Grand Slam, or excuse me, finalist, including here at the US Open. The youngster trying to break new ground for the very first time.
Down the line was going to be there for him, but that time Ruud covered it.
Ruud.
Young showed you his speed and balance on this ball. Not only did he get to it, but he put it in as good a spot as he could have.
Yeah, there was still a lot of work, wasn't there, for Casper's doing, given the night that he's had, you know, where he's missed some easy ones. That was a get out of jail, a must-make volley, and he's got an opportunity now to hang on in this set.
Radar gun says 112, but that one looked bigger than 112. So he went 2 times on break point with 2 big serves, tee, and got 2 missed returns.
You've got me looking at it the entire time now, because you were just ragging on him in that first set for just rolling that first serve in.
Advantage, Shang.
The last match on this court. What was still supposed to be the day session. We're well into the evening now, just coming up to 8 o'clock local time. Night session just about to start on Ash, but so much tennis left to be played in this one. Can he take his second set point here? And the teenager does do it. And China's Jerry Zhang takes the second, and he wins it by 6 games to 3.
2 sets to love.
So can the 8-seeded Norwegian do something that he's only ever done once before in his career and come back from 2 sets to love down in a best of 5? He's only done it once in 19 attempts. But the good news, if you're a Ruud fan, when he did do it, it was here at the US Open.
15-all.
A very strange one of 2020 with empty stadiums. And it was against an American, a young American called Mackenzie McDonald. Lost the first 2 sets 6-4, 6-4. Came back to win 4, 3 and 2. Took him 3 hours and 42 minutes to do it. Can he do the same tonight?
$15-30.
He is, though, up against a man who is very inexperienced over the best of 5.
$30-all.
Well, as I've been saying all along, if this match gets into the 4-hour mark or so, it's not good for Zhang. The first 2 sets took a long time. They took about 2 hours. You get a sense that this one's going to take an hour or 2. So Zhang doesn't have to win in straights, but I feel as he does have to win in 4, at least 4.
40-30. Left, first service. Game, Ruud. First game, third set.
The Norwegian does just getting on with business.
Love 15.
Well, interesting beginning of a set in some ways for Zhang, because he really hasn't had a letdown in this match through the first 2 hours. Hasn't had one of those very loose games that occasionally he's played in the past. And sometimes this is a natural time to have a little bit of a whoosh. You're up 2 sets to love. They were 2 hard-fought sets, and you just have a little bit of a moment where you lose that edge. And Ruud is the kind of player that will take advantage of that. So love 30.
But
I like the attitude. Jerry immediately took to his box, gave him a fist pump, pointed to his head, has continued to stay engaged mentally throughout.
Well, Ruud has broken Zhang twice. Both occasions was in the opening set, but he's had quite a few break points since then in the second. Hasn't been able to convert. Let's see what he can do here. Unsaved.
30-14.
Just get the sense we're, for the last couple of hours, we're learning an awful lot about this 19-year-old sensation.
Well, I feel as I'm seeing him grow right in front of my eyes. That's the thing.
And you know
interesting.
him. Yeah.
Yes, that's the part that's interesting
him.
for me, that he has been playing a pretty complete match so far.
Let, first service.
First serve.
Test, test, test.
This match into its third hour now. Ruud making something happen.
Test, test.
At the start of the long road back here on the grandstand in this third round men's singles.
not working.
Spain's Joan Campbell. A few technical issues.
So there's going to be a point in time in this set where for Zhang, he might make a decision of, I'm not going to work that hard and try to save this set and just save up a little bit for a fourth set. I'm not saying he's doing that yet, but it's only one break a serve. But we'll see as this set goes on. If he starts getting even more aggressive, starts throwing in a few more drop shots.
Oh, you can't see that forehand.
I love how Zhang is getting pushed back, sometimes deep in the backhand corner, but you saw him from here. Look where he is. And now take a look where he hits this next forehand. Yeah, he's still behind the baseline, but he stepped up. He came forward. He used to get stuck way back. Once he got backed up,
Out. 30-all. Thank you.
So much fire behind the approach shot. And a makeable volley from Ruud. This wasn't in the script.
it's Jerry asking Coach Alun, do you want me to step up, take this return early? And it looks like he said yes.
To put this match into context, this is Ruud's 91st best of 5-set match. For Shang, it is 11th. And he's got a pretty good record. He's won 6 of his previous 10. But I mean, that's an ocean of data that he just doesn't have. Forehand is just dynamite.
Advantage.
Where are we up to
Shang.
on the winners? 22 for the match.
That is amazing.
And Jimmy, you just asked me, has he won any that have gone the distance, like the full 5? And yes, he has. At the Australian Open this year, he has a wild card in there. Beat Mackenzie McDonald in 5. Came back from 2 sets to 1 down. And he did it in the first round here against Alexandra Bublik.
I watched that one, so I remembered it at the last minute.
Okay.
There was a Bublik one.
Break point very quickly snuffed out.
Even though the score doesn't look it in Bublik, but the 4th set, he got down an early break and went full, I'm not trying. Got down 5-love. And Bublik suddenly went walkabout for 3 games. So the score ended up 6-3, but it was a non-set, set 4 against Bublik.
Okay.
They almost didn't play tennis.
That's not going to happen here. This
No,
is Casper Ruud.
That's not going to happen here, which is why I thought possibly if Zhang got behind 3-love in this set, he might think, unless he's feeling physically great. Again, it was hot. the first few days of this tournament. It is not hot right now.
In fact, for a Floridian, it's cold.
It is.
A great point as Cameron Gauff. Get the sense that Ruud just cannot hit this ball any harder than he is right now. I mean, he just flung himself at that.
And he knows he had to. He went with the inside out to the forehand. You don't want Jerry to have his feet underneath him for that shot. He's lethal down the line. Going to help be the reason why he missed that attempt, because he is trying to redline it when he goes to his favorite inside-out shot.
And what we're seeing out here from the Norwegian, you don't see it very often. He's uncomfortable. Still working hard. Another long game. We've had so many of them in the contest so far.
Let for service.
Fourth break point in this game for the youngster. Gonna miss that time, so back at deuce.
I suppose that's the one stat that hasn't looked great for Zhang so far in the match is break points. He broke 2 of the first 3 service games from Ruud. And at that point, he was converting break chances. He's now 3 of 14.
Advantage, Ruud.
And there is something in that if you don't take your chances against a top player, you will get hurt. A low rank player, you can do that. You'll probably get some more. But against someone of Ruud's caliber, he will start to clock that and will make Jerry pay.
Game,
Ruud. But Ruud maintains
New balls, please.
his break advantage.
Ruud leads
third set.
3 games to love, third set. Shang by 2 sets to love.
With all the time in the world.
Love 15.
I sense he'll be very keen to get a second break here and just rifle through this third set. I guess the question is how much of those opening 2 have taken, what sort of toll they've taken physically on the 19-year-old.
Love 13. Just
get the sense that there's a lull in this contest right now.
No question. At the start of this third set, it's almost as if Zhang's definitely gone for a little bit of a walkabout, and Ruud's not far behind. They're not playing at the level they were playing at for much of the first two sets.
Out. 15-14.
And the Norwegian now eyeing up a fourth break of the Shang serve. Yeah, he's found it. Gosh, he makes it look easy.
13-14.
It is amazing. It's just, as I said, it doesn't look as though he does much different from his rally ball. This is just what his forehand looks like, but he can make the pace so much different. With seemingly the same swing.
Game Ruud.
Romping away now.
Ruud leads 4 games to
Third
love.
set. I almost feel like we're in the fourth, but you can keep track. Still matches going on around the grounds, and you can keep track of them on the usopen.org website. This is online for all your scoring highlights and real-time stats. You've got the draw, the schedule. That's at usopen.org, and of course you've got all your socials as well, just to stay connected with the tennis here at this brilliant site. It's changed so much over the years.
Test. 15 love.
Actually, take it as a good sign if you're a Zhang fan that he's not throwing this set away from this point more obviously. It means to me that physically he's still good.
$15-all.
And I get the sense whatever happens out here tonight, Jimmy, he's already surprised you, and he's sealed up a lot of those weaknesses and areas that there's a few question marks on.
I'm certainly happy with what I've seen to this point from him. Yes, and it's more of a maturity emotionally, mentally, and physically, not with his game so much.
30-15. $40-15.
It's going quickly now.
Ruud.
And Ruud won the game away.
Ruud leads
from
5 games to love.
taking this third set.
Shanghai 2 sets to love. Love 15. Love 13.
Well, the set's gone, hasn't it?
Well, I'm all for Zhang losing this set 6-love. I know that sounds crazy, but to me, you almost let Ruud know you're letting him have it, and then you start the fourth. You start the fourth full on with energy. You win a point, you give him a come on, and you try to secure an early break, because Ruud for a while now has played with no pressure. He knows he's winning this set.
The only thing is, by not holding here, he'll start the fourth.
I know, but I still think it's where I like it.
Game, third set, Ruud.
Jimmy enjoying
6 games to love. Shang leads by 2 sets to 1.
The third set by 6 games to love. Ruud is back in business here on the grandstand.
My shoes on court.
15 love.
Yeah, important first 10 minutes or so of this fourth set for Zhang. You've thrown away the third set quickly in the end. You've got to regain that feel, that swagger, that tennis that you were bringing early.
How easy is it to do that? I mean, I certainly remember, someone that you watched and probably practiced with a lot, Andre Agassi, was one of the first I remember who very obviously in this situation would have just gone, okay, let's just bin that set, and got quite a lot of criticism for it, and then restarted. So how easy is it to switch back on?
I think for some players it's easy, and for some players it's difficult. I think for Zhang, he can do it, and I'm thinking he will do it early. That's not to say that he'll win these games, because he's playing a guy who's top 10 in the world.
14-15.
But though he's nowhere near his best, but he's got a foothold, doesn't he? And he'll work from then. He never gives up. All those years, and there have been many of them practicing with Rafa on the tennis court, and then spending a lot of afternoons playing golf with him as well. Apparently Rafa's even more competitive on the greens.
(40-13).
Ideal start for the 8th seed.
First game, fourth set.
Never occurred to me that a shoelace could break and the catastrophe it would cause. But anyway, so right, shoe issues are over. Important game here for Zhang. And he just sent, but might just fire Ruud up.
15 love.
He's going to make this young guy work really hard now. I have to say, seeing him out here reminds me of some of the best juniors in the world, both on the boys and the girls side are Chinese. They're the best under 12s. I've had a chance to see them earlier this year at a few events. So they are coming onto the tour, thick and fast.
Out. 30 love.
Again, that's the play that Ruud was using throughout the second set, running around, second serves, crushing forehands. He wasn't missing them, partly because once he got up the break, he knew he had the set in hand, and that relaxed him. Can he make those types of returns when he's feeling a little bit of scoreboard pressure?
That's it. My goodness, he moves with ease.
Great hands and feet, because he didn't read this drop shot reply that well. You're supposed to take that away, but he's got the wheels to run it down anyway.
Yeah.
14-15.
It'll be interesting to see how Ruud is physically. As I mentioned earlier, you know, he had this stomach parasite that towards the end of his run to the semis at the French Open, he was in bed for weeks after that. He was seriously ill and really struggled to recover. Just before the Olympics, he had a really nasty bout of flu.
1 game all, fourth set.
So he can't be at 100%. That was a good hold there, wasn't it? After 3 successive breaks of the Shang serve.
Love 15.
What do you feel that Ruud will try and do in this set?
I think what he's going to try to do is what he did a bit in the second, is attack second serves, try to continue being in control.
In the third, you mean?
In the third.
Okay.
But I feel as though he's feeling that a little more uncomfortable feeling that he saw in the first 2 sets, where Ruud had the look of someone that's trying to do almost, he's the one redlining it, trying to do more than he's comfortable with.
This could be really good now.
15-all.
That is not the crowd booing, I don't think. That's the crowd saying Ruud. There's some competing fans here. Both players have their favorites. Big, and that was a shot Ruud was struggling with when the ball came flat and low and deep to his forehand. He was late, he was shanking them. That time he controlled it beautifully. Was absolutely treating the ball rudely in that point. The first 2 shots that he hit were massive, got the short sitter, and that is at least the 4th or 5th time we've seen him miss a very routine short high ball.
Was that horrible control?
Yes. Horribly controlled.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm learning the new lingo from you, Jimmy. Now, he hasn't faced a break point since he was broken in the 8th game of that second set. Oh dear.
Yes. Advantage, Shang.
There it was again, the deep into the forehand side, flat and skiddy ball. Ruud again, little late, pulled up, missed it long, another break chance.
He's converted 3 of 15 in this contest.
Use.
Jerry's saying all the right things. He's saying, calm down, let's keep going, just keep fighting. That was a forehand. If there was no pressure, he would make in his sleep.
Advantage, Ruud.
Typically tough hold, and he gets his nose in front in this fourth
2
set.
games to 1, fourth set. Shang by 2 sets to 1. Lost. All.
Kind of hand it to Ruud in some ways. He came out and you thought of him mostly as a clay court player. He had a couple of Roland Garros finals and had most of his good results were on the clay. What he's done on hard court that most clay courters don't seem to get themselves to be able to do is, and you'll see it in this match now, he's returning serve from pretty close in. He's no longer clay court returning way back, and he can do it pretty effectively.
This is getting physical.
30 all.
Ruud's forehand's getting a little bigger as these games go on. And he's taking it earlier as well. He's not backing up quite as easily.
That's wayward.
30-14.
That is the only shot Jerry's really hit poorly today for him. Normally his drop shot amazes you. It clears the net by a millimeter and just
that's a new measurement as well.
Is.
But this is a big moment here, facing break point. And he handles it well. Don't forget he had a couple of chances to break early in the set on the previous wood serve. very slow second serve.
Advantage.
Being made to pay, and it's another chance for Ruud to get the early jump in this fourth set. And Norwegian looking much more sprightly now. Maybe there is a way back here from two sets to love down, something he's only ever done once in his career 4 years ago here at the US Open. And he breaks clear in this fourth set.
Ruud leads 3-1. Fourth set.
Don't forget you can download the US Open app. That's something I did earlier in the week, and on it there's scores, there's highlights, there's news about players. There's also US Open radio, which will give you a very broad perspective on everything that's going on around the grounds with all the matches. Okay, where's the response here from the youngster who was the best junior in the world 3 years ago?
Well, you saw that return to serve. He's still dangerous on return.
Yeah.
But Bill Ruud's forehand
15-0
has picked up quite a bit. He's catching up in the winner department on forehands. He's got 4 through the first 4 games of this set.
He's found it again. Electrifying tennis from Casper Ruud.
He's got the perfect combination going right now, which is when he goes into Zhang's backhand, he's hitting it heavy. It has spin, it's getting up high, and Zhang backs up a bit on that. And then when he goes into the forehand, he's flattening it out a bit and absolutely crushing those forehands, getting to Zhang a little too quickly for his tastes.
14-15.
This is best of 5, and I'm sure Ruud will know that Zhang led Dimitrov at Wimbledon 2 sets to love up. That could have been a huge win for him. Wasn't able to see it out successfully. Just feel Casper's got his teeth into this one now.
Maybe that's the answer. Give him the somewhat short slice with not a lot of pace. And Ruud struggled with it off both sides, forehands and backhands. Hard to make a strategy of give him sitters.
You feel he has to get the break back here if he's got any chance of seeing this home in 4. The M&M team, Martin and Marco. Oh, the team had his best point for some time.
Advantage, Shang.
Giving himself a lifeline now in this fourth set. Just explodes off his racket, doesn't it?
It does.
Wow. He's loving this stage. What can he do here? To say, every single break point that Ruud's faced in this fourth set, he has found a first serve.
And on all of them, Zhang's been pretty close to the baseline. I don't know. I maybe take one from further back, try to get in the point.
Advantage,
Ruud shot in that point, it seemed.
And Ruud just reminding us why he has made 3 Grand Slam finals, including 1 here. That is the quality that he can produce. Norwegian taking a stranglehold now in this fourth set.
Ruud leads 4-1, fourth set. Shang by 2 sets to 1.
So Zhang on for fourth set. So let's see the 3-hour mark now.
Oh!
Love. Love.
10 of the last 11 games have been won by Ruud, but this set's still just 1 break. Looks like a huge lead.
Oh!
Love.
Also a sense of Ruud getting used to the court as well. He wasn't comfortable, was it, with the low skidding bounces that this particular arena seems to produce.
Oh!
And also, Zhang's backhand is very flat, so it's low and skiddy as well. So it's a combination of the court and Zhang's strokes.
First meeting between the two.
14-15.
So whatever happens here, Ruud is going to forget it. Oh,
Game, Shang. New balls, please. Ruud leads 4-2, fourth set.
Where are you on the new balls, Jimmy? Did you like serving with them? Did you think it was easier to break when a player had new balls?
No, I like serving with them.
Okay.
More than returning. But you know, back in our day, or my day at least, we didn't change racket. We didn't change rackets for every ball change. We didn't do any of those things that they do now.
I'm not far off your day. We're fairly similar vintage.
So my vintage seems to be so far in the past.
I think we have seen Ruud since he first came onto the tour how much he has added so many layers to his game So it looks very comfortable now in the forecourt.
Fifteen all.
It's gone to double figures now on the ace count.
Serving has really improved for Ruud from early in this match. First set, had a poor performance. Got broken twice in that set. Has only been broken once since then. In set 4, he's serving at 90% first serves. I should have picked a better time to jinx him, because 40-15, I still like his chances of holding here.
Looking very good now as he extends his lead in this fourth set.
Ruud leads 5-2. Fourth set, Shang by 2-1. Out, 15 love.
So what can Shang do here? Can he stay a little longer in this fourth set? It's had the look of 5 on it ever since he won the second.
30
The
love.
important part that maybe if Zhang doesn't end up winning this match that he can look back on is the lull that started set 3. He just had a little letdown, which is so natural after winning 2 sets that took 2 hours.
And surely this is an important hold, but if Ruud wraps up 6-3, then he starts serving beginning of the
Game,
excuse me, which it looks like he might
Ruud
do.
leads 5-3, fourth set.
No, he's got to hope, Zhang, that Ruud just gets a little bit tight in trying to serve out this fourth set, because Zhang has made Ruud play. And Ruud has hit the ball cleanly in this set and hard, and not made very many unforced errors. He's been hitting his forehand beautifully.
So Ruud, can he close here and level the contest? Making those earlier in the evening.
15 love.
No, and the interesting part about that point was the first 3 or 4 forehands that Ruud hit, they were not as solid. They were hit a little bit shakily compared to what he's been hitting all set, but this one he hit beautifully and cleanly. I was for a minute thinking Zhang might be able to take control of the point, because he had a few forehands that weren't hit with much depth.
all.
just hear how hard Jerry was working. The shoes squeaking against the cement.
30-15.
Yeah.
He couldn't get out of that corner, the backhand corner. Ruud just went there relentlessly and then finally went for the winner down the line.
Yeah, these top players, it's tough. That's why they're the best. Did he really make that?
15.
Well, this is a different Casper, isn't it, from the first couple of sets? Absolute rocket of a forehand. That wouldn't have been too far off 100 miles an hour. 2 set points for the 8th seed. And we're all spot here on the grandstand as Casper Ruud takes the ball by 6 games to 3.
Love 15.
Start of the 5th. Jimmy, what do you want to see from the 19-year-old? Win or lose?
Well, I want to see him just fight for every point, and I think he will in this set. I think those first 2 sets were incredibly physical. The next 2 weren't. So I think if he should have the energy to put 100% into this 5th set. The problem for Jung is that Ruud is playing at a very high level right now. Can Ruud keep it up, or will he have a letdown at some point?
Back Ruud all the way in that lengthy exchange.
And that forehand, when it landed, boy, was it looked almost good to me from where I saw it. So that is, after a lengthy, tough rally, Ruud still has all the juice left.
What's this young man got to give here?
Starting to read Zhang's forehand a little bit better. So he had a mid-court forehand there. If you remember early on, Ruud was never leaning in the right direction on those forehands. It kept getting past him. And all of a sudden, Ruud seems to be there. He seems to feel where the forehand from Zhang is going. Jerry going way out to the single sideline now, telling you I'm sliding you way out if I can.
Good job. important hole for the youngster.
First game, final set.
You seen him do that before?
Yes.
Love. 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 Game Ruud. 1-game-all final set.
So a quick hold for Casper Ruud to continue putting the pressure on Jung. He hasn't let up ever since getting that early lead in the third set. It's been one-way traffic. Casper has played so well for the last hour and 10 minutes or so.
Love.
One word that you've used so often through the course of this contest about Jerry Shang is control. I mean, not just with the racket face, but also from an emotional standpoint as well. He's really held himself very well out here.
Running around a lefty serve in the end court. If you don't hit a winner, you're going to end up running a good amount of distance. And he did the rest of that point.
Lovely. He's got the off serve as well, hasn't he, for the right-hander?
He needs to use that one a little bit more than he has in the deuce court. Not easy, especially as this match is more on when he hits in the deuce court his lefty slider and brings Ruud into the center of the court. He's not able to hit winners now from Ruud in that position, so he's better off at least a good percentage of the time starting the point out wide. Jerry, instead of going for the safe little punch down the line, tried to get awfully cute. with the full swing slice. Trying to bring it backwards almost after it bounced. Didn't pull it off. And his service games haven't been easy. Giving away a point could be dangerous. Even at 40 love.
Having been as high as 5 in the world, Jimmy, you know these things. You saw it straight away. But it's going to be those little aspects that he's going to tidy up. I'm sure Martin, his coach, is going to make a little note of that. And you just...
Yeah, the interesting thing is if he had John Isner serve, go ahead and hit the underspin thing at 40-15. You're still probably going to bang one, and you're going to get out of your service game. For Jerry, it's not quite that comfortable.
Here we are.
I was slightly worried.
How quickly he's been pulled back from 40 love to deuce in this game. Ruud looking really interested in another break of the Shang serve. He's had six times he's done that tonight.
Advantage, Shang.
That's more of a temper tantrum than you often see or almost ever see from Ruud. That really was spectacular. There were beautiful shots hit, great athleticism, great movement from both players.
Two sets all, one game all, deuce. In this battle of two very different big forehands. Might have been taken away.
I mean, against almost all players with forehand down the line, Zhang hit on the run would have been getting him an advantage or at least winning point. Didn't get him anywhere. He just had to run again to the other corner. And yeah, it's exactly what you said. The legs are starting to get heavy and they're starting to burn.
And Ruud certainly looked to play the long game here against the youngster. Chance to get the early break in the fifth. Well done.
Yes.
There's so much to like, isn't there, with this young guy? And it looks as if he's got a wonderful future ahead of him. Not that time.
Advantage, Ruud.
Just got caught hitting the regulation volley. Didn't look terribly comfortable. So the 8th seed is on the prowl again here in this 3rd game of the 5th set.
Yes.
That felt a little bit like a bluff. Serve and volley out wide. There was a lot of room down the line.
The French have a phrase for that. It's called monter aux chaussettes. And it literally means coming to the net in your socks.
Well, yeah.
Figuratively, it's a bluff.
We just saw it there, and he got away with it, Zhang. So see if we can get out of this game now.
What that is in Mandarin, I don't know, but it's just a great expression I learned over in Paris a few weeks ago. Oh dear, oh dear. This is 5th of the evening, and it might be his most expensive 3rd break point now.
That was caused by the fact that Ruud has been attacking his second serve so well, so he went for a little more out wide.
Too good. 5th juice in this game.
That's where it's so fun to be a lefty, I suppose. Every break point except for 1540 happens in the ad court. If you hit that wide serve, it doesn't have to be hard, but if you get a player far enough out, you just have so many options, so many areas to hit into. It creates space beautifully.
Longest game of the match so far in a 5th juice.
Left, first service. Advantage, Ruud.
Because Zhang double faulted last time in the deuce court trying to go wide, I was pretty sure he's just going to spin it in. Ruud was pretty sure he's just going to spin it in, so he got around it and crushed another forehand. Jerry's going to have to figure something out with that second serve.
Casper building pressure in this second service game for Zhang in the 5th set.
Ruud leads 2 games to 1.
For the first time since he led 1-love in the opening set. We have the day session on grandstand going very late.
Low 15. 15 all.
As the match is worn on, it's just a little bit more often. It's Ruud who is now pushing Zhang around. It's dominating the baseline closer in.
This match has come alive again, hasn't it, after the last two rather one-sided sets.
30,
I just
15.
wonder from Sean, don't forget, I mean, this is the only 11th time he's played a best-of-5 matches, won 6 out of 10. If he knows tactically what he wants to do out here.
Well, I think the problem for him is what was working so well has stopped, which was when he was hitting flat, deep backhands into the Ruud forehand. Ruud was struggling, shanking, hitting short, giving him opportunities to take control. He's not mistiming those any longer. So all of a sudden he's lost the play that was working. And the other play that Ruud has been using that's worked for him is attacking Zhang's second serve. Just slowly taking his legs from him, Zhang. And if you were listening when we started 3.5 hours ago, I was worried that they couldn't last yet 5 sets at the level that you're playing at, that they're playing at, with the rallies, the speed and length, that combination, the speed of the rallies, how quickly you have to move to be in position, and then they're going on for 8, 10, 15 shots. That is tough. And Zhang just hasn't done it as often as Ruud has. From the standpoint of he had the
Ruud leads 3-1. Final
and yet
set.
he's still, this has been a physical match. He's fine. So he's so conditioned that he's already gotten most of it back.
Don't forget, you can visit the usopen.org website, and there's all the scores and the stats and the draws and all the information on the players that you could possibly want. That's a lovely moment. Flatmate, do you want to play the next couple of games? Because I am beat. What's he got left? Whatever happens here, he still has a very good tournament. He's going to be, he's 72 at a career high at the moment. On Monday week's rankings, he'll be around the 60 mark. You know, he's going to be very close to getting in a lot of the Masters Series events. Main draw, I think the qualifying days are very much behind him. And it's all happening very quickly, and this is what the top players do. They just lift the tempo. And you wonder, all those hours he's spent practicing with Rafael Nadal in Mallorca, paying off in these moments.
And they don't, the top players don't seem to have a letdown. They're not just strong physically, they're mentally remarkably strong as well. Ruud right there near the top in that department.
How quickly things can change. And it's not unreasonable to expect a young guy who's only really just come out onto the tour the last couple of seasons to be able to survive physically at this level. And it's happened to him before. It happened to him at Roland Garros last year in the first round, where he led 2-0 against Varillas, and more recently at Wimbledon in the second round, where he was leading Dimitrov.
15-14.
But the good news is how close he's pushing these guys. He's got them on the ropes at 19.
Yes, he's going to be there tennis-wise. It might take him a little longer to get physically there.
Might be another big off season on the. Better get those trainers lined up, Jimmy.
30-14.
We've now heading for the fourth round. Another break.
Ruud leads 4 games to 1, final set.
Full control here in the fifth.
Thank you.
Ruud. 4-1, looking to close the door here.
Love.
He's such an unassuming sportsman. He's a huge deal back home, and it's pretty tough to compete with all the cross-country stars and all the winter sports that they have in their country.
Love.
Started playing on with his dad, actually, while his dad was still on the tour, in like a mini tennis court that they put in the back garden.
Absolutely
13-15.
3 ground strokes in a row there, and Ruud first set was having trouble with pace, and not any longer. Handling the pace beautifully. Yeah, Zhang eventually put one right on the line, but that's what it seems to take now to win points against Ruud. It'd be interesting if somehow Zhang could get one of the breaks back, just to see if he could create a little bit of doubt and pressure in Ruud's mind.
You never know.
Seems impossible. What we had seen 2 points ago, but 2 great points in a row from Zhang.
(14-13). Balls, please. Ruud leads 5 games to 1. Final set.
The real Casper has shown up in the last few sets. What can the youngster do here with new balls at 1-5 in the 5th?
Led for service.
Whatever he's feeling right now, he's taken one of the best players in the world the distance. All right. I thought he was going to make it. He's
been making everything.
He's been ripping away,
yes,
hasn't he? And you think, where was the guy that was running up to these, what were these awfully controlled drop shots in the first and second set and just sort of making a mess of it? He's gone.
But one thing that's been slightly exposed is Shang's second serve. As the matches wore on, Ruud has treated it rudely. He has not allowed. There's so many players now on the men's tour that doesn't matter the second serve. They just stay way back and start the point. They don't try to really hurt you on the second serve. And so Zhang gets away with it a lot. But these last 3 sets, Ruud is on the front foot.
15,
every
13.
second serve point for Zhang. If you remember, he had an amazing, he was at 60, 70% winning the second serve points early on.
You don't see those numbers, do you?
This set, he's 1 of 11.
Yeah. It's more like, and I'm going to let you get away with that line on Ruud's return, because we've been at this nearly 4 hours.
Thank you.
Well, Casper on the verge of doing some of these, only ever done once before. That's coming back from 2 sets to love down. He seems to have the knack of doing it here in New York. And after 3 3/4 hours, he's at match point. Completes the comeback, and he chases Jerry out of this year's US Open. That took everything he had, but he wins in 5, 6-7, 3-6, 6-love, 6-3, 6-1, and how the men in pink and purple have lit up this Grand Slam, the last match in the day session. Well done, Casper. You are through to the 4th round once again. Former finalist will take on Taylor Fritz in the round of 16.
Took a couple of hours to get through the first 2 sets, as they were very difficult sets. Ruud was just a little bit off. Zhang was very good in that early stages, but there was no panic from Ruud, and he dominated the last 3 sets. Took him less time to win those 3 than the first 2 sets took. In the end, he was playing brilliantly.
It'll be a fascinating debrief for Jerry Shang. He's had an excellent US Open. Took out the seed in his section, Alexander Bublik, and backed it up. But Casper, who knows what may unfold over the next 7 or 8 days. But he's done well, because he's been very ill this year. Not injured, but ill. He recently got over a bout of flu. Won very few matches coming in here, so this will almost for him signal a return to fitness. Goodness me, they work hard these days.
Yes, they do, and that match was physical. The points were tough. Both players were hitting the ball sharply and deep and close to the lines and having long rallies. And Ruud never really let up from start to finish. So for at least 3 hours and 44 minutes, we know he can last that long, because he did it perfectly today and never looked as though he needed a breather.
No, he was certainly worried, as were his camp in those opening 2 sets. I think he knows how good Jerry is, but let's hear from him now.
Well, Casper, great win in the end. I think that match probably summarised by a switch in momentum. You lose the first 2 sets, then out of the next 22 games, you win 18. A phenomenal change in momentum. How did you mastermind it?
Yeah, good question. I mean, first 2 sets were not too fun, and then the last 3 sets were very fun. So I don't know. Something clicked. I just kind of was a bit frustrated there after the second set and said, you know, time to go for it. And honestly, you know, the energy from the crowd was phenomenal. So thank you guys for... Thank you for staying and cheering me on. And yeah, without you guys, I don't think it would be any chance at all. So I owe it to you. Thank you.
Actually, Casper, it's only the second time in your career you've come from 2 sets down to win a 5 setter. The last time was here in Flushing Meadows in 2020. Just how difficult is it to come back from 2 sets down? Just how much effort is required to turn a match around like that?
Yeah, it requires, you know, strong mentality. I think we're all physically strong out here, so I know that physically we can do it. It's a matter of having the right mindset, believing all the way. And luckily, you know, I wasn't down in the 3rd set. I was always leading in the 3rd set, so I kind of was able to change the momentum early on and break him right away. And that 3rd set probably got some fire going, and yeah, just kept believing. I felt really in the zone in the last set and didn't want to leave it. So yeah, I was very happy. It's the 2nd time in my career and 2nd time here in US Open, so there's something about this place, I guess.
Yeah. Something about grandstand and you having late finishes as well. Obviously on here against Gael Monfils, having the rain delay the other night, now a 5-setter here in tonight's match. How are you holding up? These are long and tough matches for you.
Yeah, it's been okay. I mean, that's what we train hard for every day, to be able to last this long in these matches and recover well. So it's funny because the other day you asked me about revenge, and you know, today I kind of felt even more like a revenge because last year I lost to another Shang in the 2nd round, another Chinese in 5 sets. So luckily today I was able to avenge that and win in 5 sets. So it was a good feeling.
All right, well listen, well played. Some revenge for you as well again tonight, and we'll see you again in the next round. Well played, Casper.
Thank you so much.
He speaks extremely well. Super popular young guy on the tour, and he deserves a well-earned rest, doesn't he?
He certainly does. Deserved win. He won that match partly physically, partly mentally, and he's still a little stronger at 25 years old than his 19-year-old opponent was, but they traded some tremendous ground strokes all night.
Well, this men's bottom half now really starting to shape up. Rublev through, Dimitrov and Tiafoe. Fritz awaits. Tomorrow we're back for the top half, which is without the 2022 champion, the man that beat Ruud in the final, Carlos Alcaraz. That's the big story in the men's draw. Players really enjoy this actually, but I think pretty soon he'll be starting his recovery and his warm down. But in the end, a good night's work. And yes, he's been very late out here on the grandstand, but enjoying it an awful lot. So last few numbers, Jimmy, before we let you go.
Yeah, and in the end, it's really 49 winners to 39 winners. Those numbers really switched the last 3 sets. It was Zheng hitting the winners. Unforced errors, 47 in the end for Ruud, but most of those at the beginning of the match. He only made 6 in set number 5. So Ruud just kept getting better is the bottom line, and Zheng just couldn't quite keep up as the match wore on.
We now have a really heavyweight clash between Ruud and Fritz in the 4th round. So many good matches as we head into Labor Day weekend. The Americans playing particularly well, but it's Ruud who's through. He comes back from 2 sets to love down to win in 5.
From China, it's Shang Juncheng. It's Casper Ruud.
Heads. Heads.
Casper Ruud. 3 sets to 2. 6-7, 3-6, 6 love, 6-3, 6-1.